that note with Parker Whirling.
Sweet. All right. You got any questions?
What's your social security number and your mother's maiden name?
Oh, I got you. 2569. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Dang it, I almost got it.
So wait a minute. Cool. Yeah, feeling good, feeling ready. We're feeling caffeinated.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler Key, thanks for coming on the pod, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me, Parker.
Of course, dude. I wanted to chat about your newest song, Oconee River.
Thanks, man.
When I saw that, I was like, hey, I know Oconee River. It's so fun. It's so catchy. I feel like I'm, down by the river and, smoking a J or something.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, dude.
about to get on a raft and almost like shooting the hooch, but shooting the Oconee.
Yeah, it's a little less glamorous, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's saying something because the hooch isn't exactly glamorous.
Hooch is pretty nasty.
But yeah, I'm
Man.
stoked to get into it. It's super fun, like I said. But before we do that, we picked an album from my album collection here. You chose Bob Dylan's "Blood on the Tracks." Yeah, show it off to the camera here.
We got some great examples of graphic design. We've got a very blurry, weirdly artistic picture of middle-aged Bob, the best Bob. Young Bob, Chalamet.
Not your favorite.
Middle-aged Bob's where it's at.
Okay.
Middle-aged Bob.
Yeah, try to do that, Chalamet.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to add some, wrinkles.
Maybe they'll
lot of
do a sequel.
Yeah, a sequel. But the reason I picked this album is because it's just full of bangers. And there's an 8-minute banger called Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts that when I first heard it when I was 17 years old, I was like, this is a movie. This is a whole movie, and I can see the characters in my head. And yeah, the whole record is just chill, sad. There's some really angry ones on here too, which you don't get angry Bob very frequently.
Is this post-divorce Bob? What's the lore behind it?
Freshly divorced Bob, I think. And Idiot Wind is just
love Idiot Wind.
It's a takedown piece. This guy is livid, and you go from that to You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Go. It's I don't know what being bipolar's like, but I know those two songs feel pretty bipolar, dude. And you're just manic, and then you're oh, I don't know, should I have said that?
Yeah,
back to back.
It's funny you picked Bob because my buddy Chris Hart came on the other day, and we had a whole discussion about Bob Dylan. His hot take, one of the questions in this bowl here, for the last 5, was that he didn't really get Bob Dylan, didn't really understand it. And, I have to say, I hope it's not true, but I, in some ways, feel like I've missed the Dylan boat. I feel like I missed my time to be really into him. With that being said, I do like a good amount of songs by him. I like Tangled Up in Blue. Oh, yeah. I like Idiot Wind. This album is really cool. I've told people exactly what I just told you, and they told me to listen to Blood on the Tracks, saying that was a really good one to get into.
Oh, yeah.
And I do like it, but I think his long songs can be a little intimidating for me to want to just throw on. And I've said this on the podcast plenty of times, but the one I actually gravitate towards the most is New Morning.
New Morning is underrated, dude. That's a good one.
That was the first one I heard that I was like, oh shit, I really enjoy this, without having to feel like I'm trying to enjoy it, if that makes sense.
There's less buy-in, I think, in New Morning, and then maybe even the early folkier Bob Dylan stuff. But I feel like streaming or the way we encounter music these days is so counterintuitive to putting on a long song, because you see how long it is and you're I don't know if I have 9 minutes to listen to Hurricane or to listen to a song about the Titanic, which he put out in 2012 on Tempest. 12-minute song called Tempest about the plot of the movie Titanic.
Oh, weird.
Which I wouldn't have listened to that if it wasn't just the third song on the CD.
Right.
I feel like physical media just makes you listen to stuff that you if you saw the numbers, you'd be like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, the surprise is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Of not knowing how long it is, and you check your watch and you're like, it's been 7 minutes.
Yeah, you just driving and you're like, what? Okay, that was like a 9-minute song. Like one of my favorite newer bands is called Ryan Davis and the Roadhouse Band. Fantastic dudes. They opened for MJ Linderman at the Variety. Cool. Yeah, and then like they played the Earl 2 weeks later, and they've got like Ryan Davis used to be in this band called State Champion and never had like super long songs, but on that new record, there's like 6 9-minute songs, and you don't realize they're 9 minutes until you're done.
Whoa.
Like, that was like 45 minutes for like 5 songs. It's crazy. It's like just like 16 verses.
Yeah, it's like some prog rock band.
Yeah, not even prog. It's just like 4 or 5 chords, but they just move in the right way. And that's like, I feel like that's the secret to like doing your epic song if you ever wanted to do that. Do
you think you would want to do one? A 9-minute song?
I mean, I have before, but I don't know if it didn't really work.
Which song is that?
I opened up the last record with a 6-minute murder ballad.
Okay, cool. 6 minutes is definitely pushing it.
Yeah,
I feel like it's still like digestible though for the average person.
Yeah,
past 6 is when it starts to get a little tough for people.
And you can use the same tricks of building like dynamics so that your ear doesn't get bored, like the listener's ear doesn't get bored with 6 minutes. But 9 minutes, that requires you have to dig deep into another thing. I feel.
Yeah, I don't even know how you go there, how a song ends up being that long. Like I said, I feel like a 6-minute song is like, all right, we can kind of fit 2 songs into one, and suddenly it's 6 minutes.
Yeah,
but 9 minutes, you're right. There has to be a lot of digging. You have to have a lot of patience. And I'm like, do you set out for that? Or does it just happen and you're like, you know what? I don't feel like editing this down. This is perfect the way it is. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, talking about Bruce Springsteen earlier, like Jungle Land, the end of Born to Run, it's like it's 8 or 9 minutes, but it's perfect. And I just feel like that has, the length of it has to do with how much the writer is willing to say. Like, and you know how desperate they are to say what they want to say. Like, if you're that desperate, you will just keep on going.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's kind of, it's a set and setting thing, you know? Like you wouldn't just be tripping without like having like a place to do it. And these guys wouldn't be writing 6-minute musical like songs that are like Andrew Lloyd Webber or like crazy plot arcs. Like they're not writing a musical without like having an audience in mind or having a character in mind that would do it.
Right. But well, I know it's not exactly 9 minutes long, but Oconee River, your newest single, is such a fun time. The first time I heard it, I was just kind of laughing most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm going to be reborn a catfish one fine day. And then that made me laugh, but then you kept changing it to beer can and spare tire. I just was like laughing in my car. I'm like, dude, Tyler is so fucking funny.
Thanks, man.
Where did this idea come from? And and what's crazy to me, I didn't realize this until I was doing some research for the pod that this is your first song in like 4 years.
Yeah. So it came from like probably over COVID. I had a lot of crazy, maybe not crazy. Everyone had some crazy things happening to them. But I had like, my mom was sick with cancer and things were just not going good. And sometimes like, being a depressie as I am, like things are just like,
put it so lightly.
Hey, I mean, if you don't carry it around with you, like, come on, you got to be like, hey, it's me.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get like recursive thoughts, things that you can't get out of your head. And, I would go jogging when I was living in Athens. I'd go jogging at Botanical Gardens just to try to get a little of that out of my system. And the Oconee's right there. And it's just like, oh man, like, yeah, I could imagine myself dying in there, drowning in the goop, nasty old goop. And it just, one of those things, like I heard the gospel thing because that's where I was raised, and my vernacular is just like old church lady gospel stuff. And I just wanted to turn that into something that was like joyous, or like reclaim some sort of like power over being like feeling like you're about to drown. And yeah, that's where the song came from. It took a long time to finish it because I didn't want to.
Why didn't you want to?
It seemed scary, and it also seemed like vaguely suicidal. I was like, that's probably not a great thing to share with the world.
Yeah, but I didn't even really think about it like that when I listened to it. It is just kind of like, and I don't know him that well, but like Randy Newman or oh my God, who's the other guy Spencer Thomas loves? Warren Zevon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love some Zevon and some Randy Newman.
Yeah, just that kind of, I don't know, that absurdist way of writing that it at no point did it come off to me like, oh, this is super sad and like we should be checking in on Tyler. I mean, not that we shouldn't be checking in on each other, but you know what I mean? It didn't seem like a cry for help.
No,
it just seemed like a really fun, kind of goofy song. But it is interesting to hear that it kind of came from that part of your life.
And I feel like some of the goofiest things I've ever thought have been born out of like this, like really depressing thoughts. You know, I don't have any examples off the top of my head, but that's just how absurdism is a coping mechanism for how bad things can be sometimes. And like in that song, yeah, sure, the initial idea was like this like recursive, terrible thought. But then I was like, how can I make this interesting, and how can I make it like a story? Like the main character in the song is like running from some company, and then the company's like, oh, it's a pulpwood company. Like later on, there's like little details. Like you could put all of this together and it would make sense. But also the Be Reborn a Catfish was like, all right, this is how you take this out of realism,
sure,
and put it into magical, goofy thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that.
There's something so funny to me as well about, I don't know, maybe this is just something I find funny, but it is so country Southern twang, that whole song.
Yeah.
And yet you're talking about like Buddhist beliefs of being reincarnated. Yeah. And it just, that is another layer to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just feels like such an interesting combination of things.
Thanks, man. Yeah, unfortunately I can't not talk that way, or if I write in a different way, it sounds inauthentic.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
so
it's a genre predicated on authenticity. So
yeah,
you kind of gotta lean in.
When you say write this way, what does this way mean to you?
Like narrative songs. Like I feel like the best country songs are like story songs, like Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone knows that song, and it's not about Johnny Cash, but Johnny Cash could pull off the gravity of it and like become that character for 2.5 minutes. Like country music is all like, it's cosplay. Like you're acting when you're writing songs like that. And I feel like pop music is more like becoming the listener. Like you become everyone. And even indie rock is like Radiohead's like, they're becoming something intangible. We don't know.
Yeah.
But we want to follow it. But with country music, it's like traditional American storytelling that's sometimes really good and most of the time really bad. It can be corny, it can be hee-haw.
Yeah.
But it can also be like Coen Brothers.
Oh,
Dude.
Like, Radiohead and Coen Brothers in the same response. You're after my heart.
Yeah, baby, come on, let's go.
Yeah, no, that's such an interesting way of putting it. There is something that I really admire about country music, and that is the storytelling aspect, the ability to distill things down to such a just like its finest points, obviously if it's done well, like you said. And even like super pop country, like Morgan Wallen and whoever, like Zach Crook, my buddy in Athens, I know you know Zach.
Oh yeah, Zach. He's cool.
He's a huge fan of D'Angelo and all that R&B and all that, and then on the completely other side, he loves Morgan Wallen, and which is so funny. And then the music he makes is like Dijon meets McGee. It couldn't be like a stranger combination. But he would just show me all these, like old country songs, like stuff by like Bonnie Raitt or any of that, and then some Morgan Wallen. That's what I always come back to. But it's like a whole song will be leading up to this one line at the very end of the chorus, and it makes everything tie in together. And I'm like, as flowery as you can be with indie music, and like I love Radiohead, that's my favorite band. Oh yeah. There's just something so much harder sometimes about being able to craft a song like that to where at this exact moment everybody gets it. Like there's no question really. And
not to mention like there's like pre-hooks that lead up to the big hook. There's like 12 pre-hooks.
Absolutely.
On every instrument vocally. Like that's why people listen to modern country music even if they live in like Massachusetts and it's like you got 6 inches of snow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's rednecks all over the world. I found that. And my people,
Right.
That's where we are. But like there's something that transcends like both class and status or whatever, or like who you are. It's the hooks.
Yeah.
If you got that many hooks, people are going to be digging it. And that's important. And a lot of folks don't realize that. Even Radiohead has a bunch of hooks.
That's so true. And sometimes, you don't need all that flowery language in there. Like, get to the point. So many of those country songs, like, there is no question about what's going on. And like you said, there's so many hooks leading up to that main hook that keep you interested the whole time, even if as a listener you're not really aware of it.
Even if they're singing about trucks and jeans, you're like, all right, guitar was doing something sick.
Right, yeah.
The drums sound huge.
Yeah, true.
Which Roman Coliseum did they record these drums in?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not a very country guy, but that just made me think about how sick that Post Malone song is with Morgan Wallen of the I Had Some Help. I mean, that song rules. The first time I heard it, like you just get it immediately.
Yeah,
and it's fun.
Yeah, it almost feels like modern pop country is like bioengineered in a lab to make you just like party.
Totally.
Which, I mean, there's a place for that. I mean, people who shit on music or country music, it's like, yeah, well, you have the same things in your genre. You're just a little bit like, you just kind of hear the twang to the voice and you're like, oh, this guy's got to be dumb. Like, I mean, all these songs
That's
are
so
just,
true.
They're all bangers that make you want to have a good time with your homies.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, you're right. Really, the difference is the twang. Without a twang, a lot of these modern country songs are just like pop hits.
They're pop hits that sound like maybe 10 years ago's pop hits, because that's how long it takes to get down to like the, I wouldn't say lowest common denominator, but like everybody knows the signals that you're putting out by that time. Like 10 years pass, everyone, like 10 years pass in fashion, and then like stuff people wearing in Manhattan, they're wearing in like
from the future.
Mississippi, you know?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It trickles down to like the places where like I grew up. Like, like we were wearing Hollister in like 2008 when it was probably cool in 1998, you know? Stuff like that.
It makes you wonder, like, what's in store for us now that we think we just don't know is coming down the pipeline.
Oh, some folks are living in the future, and it's just gonna do what they do, probably.
Yeah. So this song, Oconee River, is your first song in 4 years. What before that though, you were putting out an album every like 2 years. What was the hiatus? What were you doing in that time?
Well, making albums is expensive.
Oh yeah.
It's like so expensive. I love doing it, and that's one of my favorite things, creative endeavors I've ever set out on. I wanted to be a writer when I was a kid. I wanted to write novels. I don't have the attention span, But I love songs. I love making albums like that you can listen to front to back.
Mm-hmm.
I did that a bunch in high school. You can't find any of that stuff on the internet. I made a great effort to make sure that it wasn't there because, dude, it was pretty bad. But
We've all got them.
oh yeah, you got the juvenilia, as they call it. But I think the reason this one took so long is like I recorded the last one, the Wild Azaleas record, in 2020. Finally got it put out in 2021. It was just kind of, it was so expensive, like to make by myself, and it wasn't even like in the grand scheme of things expensive. It was just
Sure.
like, it's
all relative.
One guy working a junky job, and I couldn't save enough money to like make 2 albums in like 2 years because things just kept on going up. So this Oconee River, like the session that came out of was like I think we recorded most of that in 2021 or 2022, like the drums and stuff, basic tracks. And then I tried to mix a whole record by myself, and I found out that I wasn't good at that. And I was like, okay, well, I'll ask my buddy Robert. And recorded all the stuff that wasn't drums and vocals at my house. And it was a piecemeal effort. It was just 3 guys. And then my girlfriend, Kimberly, sings background vocals on most of the record. And yeah, it just took a long time because I was doing it the cheapest way possible because I had no funding.
Yeah, of course. I mean, a tale as old as time.
Also, I was playing in like 10 bands.
Right.
From like 2021 to 2023, I just kind of played a few shows by myself or with my band. But mostly I was playing with the Howdies and playing with T. Hardy Morris, Little Gold, a bunch of Atlanta bands too. No Yonder, played with you recently,
That's
hey,
right,
yeah, dude. Hey.
That's right. Played with Parker Whirling.
Yeah, dude.
September 21st.
And I started off the show playing cowbell.
That's right, dude. Yeah,
Man, I still think about it.
That
it was
was
great.
That was fun, man. No, that was so. We had a lot of dudes on stage at that show. A lot of guys. I think there were 6 of us.
Rizzo up there too.
Yes, dude. It was so fun though. That was a blast. But yeah, you are like one of the most hardworking touring artists I know. You tour constantly, whether that's for your own stuff or for, like you said, 10 other bands.
Yeah.
What's been some of the lessons you've learned on the road over the last however many years you've been touring?
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's doing it real DIY style is good, and you need to know how to do it and how stuff works. But man, if you can holler at your dude to open up a show, or anybody, who's got an audience already, just go ahead and do that. Mm-hmm. Like, just there's no harm in asking. I made a bunch of new friends this last tour where I was opening for Pony Bradshaw and also playing 3 instruments in his band.
Oh my God.
It was work. I mean, it was really fun, but man, you get to the venue at 4 and you're setting up merch, and then sound check happens, and then your sound check happens, and you're busy until 12. Like, it's from 4 to 12, and then not counting driving there. So
right.
It's like we were working.
Yeah.
With a couple of days off in between, but man, highly recommend just hopping on an opening slot, just seeing if any of your buddies who've got like more followers than you, or if the same thing, if someone asks you, like, shoot, might as well. It's rising tide lifts all ships, I think.
Absolutely.
And, don't hesitate to ask. What's it gonna do? I mean, you could ask too much. You can ask too much.
You can't ask too much,
but just a little bit goes a long way.
Absolutely. And I think for the most part, all the people I know and I'm friends with are more worried about asking and being perceived as annoying, as opposed to like, constantly asking people. So I feel like in general, more of us are that way.
Yeah, we think we're going to be annoying, but really it's just like, ask for a little, give me a little fist bump here. That's it. That's what it is.
My dad always says that if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
100%.
That's like one of those things that he told me when I was 12 or 13, and I've literally never forgotten it. And I don't even know if he remembered he said it, but
but it's etched in the back of your
yeah,
brain.
it's just there. And that just really blew me away because there's so many opportunities out there for you. But if you don't have the mindset to see that they are there, and all you have to do is maybe ask somebody or go to this event or whatever, all these little things you can do to get a little bit closer to whatever that goal is, then you should take them. But you also have to have a goal in mind, otherwise
Right.
you're just kind of aimlessly going somewhere.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah. I mean,
Most
who
years,
hasn't?
most years, like aimlessly, just I like doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, also do your stuff. Like get good at what you do. And I should be taking my own medicine here. I play like whatever instrument anybody needs. I will be passable at it, and it'll be fine. But yeah, get your ducks in a row. Present yourself in a way that's like that you would be proud of.
Yes.
And that's always the hardest part for me. It's like I'm so critical of everything, even like music, lyrics, whatever. And if you get your ducks in a row where you can like present yourself in front of strangers in a way that like makes you proud, that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Don't worry about like Instagram, TikTok, whatever. It's really just like people like building a community, finding your community. And it can be online, but that's a lot of passive like scrolling. It's
For
hard to
sure.
be very passive in person. So,
Yes.
like that's
Very well put.
get down there, get in the thing, get in the pit, open
Yeah.
this pit up, and like make friends.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest, hardest thing.
What do you think would be some good practical advice for somebody looking to find their musical community?
I mean, once again, I should probably take my own medicine, but going to local shows, supporting your people, not asking to be on the guest list. I found that out, dude. You add to those bottom line numbers, you help out your dog, and if,
Yes.
if they might buy you a drink.
That's true.
They might buy you a coffee. It might be, a good tete-a-tete. I don't know. But
That is so true. I very, very sparingly ask for that guest list, and it's been like my roommates who I was going to see, like Tommy or Zach or Tony.
Yeah,
Hey, and I'm just like, hey man, no worries if not, but if you could. But other than that, like you really I never even thought about that. Yeah, you don't want to be the guy that's being asking for a handout and it's not just a handout, it's like money that now they will not make.
right, and not even just the handout part. It's just like sometimes if your homies might be selling out a show, or these people
Right.
that in your town or whatever, they might be close to selling out a show. Let them get to the sold out thing. Buy the ticket, and they'll do the same for you. It's like a weird
Yes.
karmic thing. And
Yes.
that's just the way it goes. Like, I don't believe that like buying a ticket will ensure that you sell out a thing. But hey, it can't hurt.
Right.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Like,
Has there been any weird shows that you've played that come to mind? Like some of the weirdest gigs you've ever done?
yeah. Okay, let me think of the absolute weirdest. In 2018, me and a buddy of mine did a 3-month tour.
Okay.
Back of the hanging out in the car, sleeping in the car, sometimes in a Motel 6. I was playing pedal steel with his set, and then opening, and we played an apartment building lobby. It wasn't me who had booked this, it was my friend, and he was just like, yeah, it's a real venue. They responded and they got back to me. It sounds like a real venue.
Yeah.
We showed up and it's a literal lobby of an apartment building.
Oh my God.
And we had hit up this like noise rock dude. Not noise rock, what's the word? Ambient guitar guy to open. And I think he played for like 45 minutes just with his pedal board and like was just like sitting like, oh yeah, cool.
Oh my God.
And it was just us three. And
was there anybody watching?
No.
Okay.
It was a lobby of them. They
Yeah.
were actively avoiding eye contact, trying to
Right.
get outside to walk their dog.
Yeah. Oh my God. Strange.
Yeah. I mean, otherwise, gigs since then. I'm trying to just play like regular shows. I've played breweries that are
any
weird.
show with a sound system is a win at this point.
Yeah, compared to that was just like one of those why am I doing this?
Yeah. Like, I got out of Motel 6 for this.
Yeah, it's like, or like, yeah, someone got murdered there, but I did get,
Right.
we were there, but like, we left home to do this 3-month tour for this.
That is
seems smart.
absurd.
But yeah, things like that have happened in the past. But otherwise, man, gigs
Pretty
are
chill.
great. Every gig's great.
Dude, that's awesome.
I mean, although I gotta say, those Porch Fest gigs around here, look out.
What do you mean?
You can't escape. You'll load in, and then like 2 hours after your set, there's gonna be a sea of people.
Oh my God.
It's like zombie
yeah.
apocalypse.
You can't get out. I didn't think about that.
And so I didn't plan for that. I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be like Oakhurst Porch Fest, where it's just a road. But
Right.
not even gonna mention which Porch Fest this is. I don't want to get in
Yeah.
blackballed from the porches of Atlanta.
Right. Very lucrative business.
Oh yeah, you can make tens of dollars.
Right.
And you get a tax write-off. Some of those places are
Didn't think about that.
Nonprofits.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can write off tens of dollars.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to save that money.
So yeah, watch out for the zombie apocalypse porch festers.
That's some good practical advice.
Yep, that's what I'm here for.
Well, Tyler, you ready to take this over to the last 5?
The last 5.
We got our little magic bowl here of all these
Okay.
questions. I'm going to zhuzh these papers around.
Oh, it's a zhuzh.
Yeah, I need to add some more. So after the pod, if you have any good ideas for
Okay,
good questions, please hit me
All
up.
right, let's find out. Oh, that's a good one. Dream 3-band Bill. Honestly, that sounds like a great band name.
There you go.
3-band Bill.
3-band Bill.
With like a bunch of guys named William. That'd be sick. Dream 3-band Bill. Like any bands? Any bands?
I like to say at least keep them living, unless you want them all dead. And then
They're
in
all
that,
zombies.
And then in that case, you're narrowing it down as well.
Okay, so say that. Okay, they're all alive. I like limitations. Limitations makes the good stuff. Okay. All right. It's gonna be number 1, Improvement Movement.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah,
Shout out Atlanta local.
So good. Get Clark on here. Come on.
Dude, you know what's funny is I had him on Zoom for like my around my 80s episode.
Yeah.
So it was like 100 episodes ago.
Dang,
And this was before I met him. We met virtually because I followed Improvement Movement, and they reposted a video of him playing. I was like, who is this guy? This guy's a freak. So then I messaged him to have him come on the podcast. And then after that, I met him in person, and he ended up producing like 3 of my songs. He produced Pretty Walker,
Dude, I
which
didn't
we
know
played.
that.
Yeah, he produced that
This
song.
sounds great.
Yeah, he crushed it. I mean, you know him. He's literally like a Willy Wonka of music.
I've never seen anybody have a full conversation, deep conversation with another person, while casually shredding jazz on a hollow body guitar unplugged.
Doesn't
like,
surprise me.
It's like someone walking into a room just spinning like 12 plates on poles. And like, hey, what are you going for lunch?
Yeah, and like like discussing geopolitics, like very complex issues.
It'd be so good. All right, so
So that's good.
Improvement Movement. Oh man, this is tough. I love so many. I'm gonna try to keep it kind of local-ish.
Sure.
Okay, Improvement Movement will be headlining. Evan Stepp and the Piners. They're my favorite country band. Sometimes I do play guitar. This is with them, but
Cool.
only on occasion. I'm not in the band.
Mm-hmm.
I just love them. They would be on this bill, and then like it's a wacky bill. It's probably like 529.
Cool.
Genreless. All right, who is the third? Oh man. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. This is a tough one. Ding dong.
Opening slot.
The opening slot. Oof, baboof. I'm gonna go with this band that I really love that I recorded one time called Skunkweed Juju. They're like
Wow.
folky. It's like a girl duo, banjo, guitar. They wrote some of my favorite songs.
Skunk Weed Juju.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it would be like the coolest bill. Like there would be a little country, a little folk, and a little like Laurel Canyon. And I think that would be my favorite.
That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, just be a vibe. So like, make me a promoter.
Yeah.
Let me do it.
Hit him up. So we got Improvement Movement and Evan
Step.
and the Pioneers.
Yeah.
And then Skunkweed Juju opening for them.
These
are all local?
They're all local.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of the last two, but Improvement Movement is great.
Check 'em out, man. Yeah.
And yeah, we'll have to definitely check them out. Maybe get them on the pod.
See there? We're making things happen over here.
Yeah, we're
Wheelin'
cooking
dealin'.
with gas over here.
Wheeling dealer.
Let's see number 2 here.
Ooh. I have to do 3 of these?
We're gonna do 5.
5.
Yeah,
Whoa.
5 whole
I
questions.
took too long on that one, man.
No, dude, you're good.
took
It's
so
not.
long.
It used to be called the Fast 5, but then we took too long, so now it's just the last 5.
Dream artist or producer to work with. I want to work with Brian Eno one day before he dies.
Ooh,
Wouldn't that be
that's
cool.
such a great answer. Yeah,
Dude, like he's like the guy.
he is the guy, and it's crazy how long he's been doing it too.
Everything he does sounds totally different too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Do you have a favorite project or something that comes to mind when you think about him?
I mean, Here Comes the Warm Jets. It's fantastic. It was the invention of ambient music, and it's just like the coolest stuff ever. But also, he did that Willie Nelson Teatro record and Bob Dylan's, oh man, Time Out of Mind. It's too early. I gotta look. But fantastic records. Like,
He's been involved in everything.
Yeah, I mean, U2.
Yeah.
You know,
Was he? What
Yeah.
U2 record was it? Was it?
Joshua Tree.
It was Joshua Tree.
Yeah, Lanois, and maybe I'm thinking of Lanois for some of that Bob Dylan stuff. Don't quote me. Don't look it up.
Yeah. Don't check the comments.
I haven't had enough coffee. But yeah, Eno. I think I'll work with. He just seems super cool.
Great answer. I love.
Maybe
him.
Eno Lanois, but it have to
Okay.
be. There's a package deal.
Yeah. That would be
Kinda
great.
Sweet.
Have you heard "Needles in the Camel's Eye"? Dude, that song blew me away.
Yeah, it's like, what is this? This is crazy.
It's so sick. That "Bad Trip," the song that
Yeah.
you played with me, that song was like almost directly inspired by that song.
Okay, I can see that now.
Yeah,
that
because
you
it's just
say
like this. The drums are just that driving beat, and
Yeah.
the guitar just doesn't stop. Yeah, it's so wacky though, and I love the yelpy vocals. I couldn't believe that was Brian Eno because all I knew him from was all the ambient stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is the same guy.
This contains multitudes, man.
Truly,
Truly contains multitudes.
shout out the goat.
To go,
Number 3.
Okay, number 3. Best album covers. Okay. Oof, baboof. My favorite album cover is yes. It was the second Faces record. You know the Faces? It's Rod Stewart.
Yes, I don't
first
know their
band.
stuff very well, but I know the name and I know
They did
Rod
that
Stewart.
song "Ooh La La," which got featured in every like dude comedy in the 2000s.
Okay.
I wish that I knew what I know now.
Oh yeah.
So like that was not even Rod Stewart. That's the bass player's song.
Oh,
But Rod
cool.
Stewart was the front man of this band. Anyway,
Right.
their second album is like, it looks like an old tobacco tin mixed with a Ouija board. It's like a very practical, like someone made this and then they photographed it. It's so badass.
That's cool.
I think it's definitely not Blood on the Tracks. I mean, the graphic design on that stuff is like,
Little weak.
yeah, come on, guys.
The back is really
The back is
strange to
sick.
me.
Yeah, like it's like it's got to be a painting that he did, right? Like,
I guess so. Yeah.
or someone gave it to him. I don't know. We don't know. But I do think that okay, going back to like things that me and Spencer had in common. The back of Warren Zevon's Excitable Boy is a picture of a plate of eggs, like food, with like just a random Colt 45 revolver on top of it. And if that would have been the cover, that would probably be my favorite album cover. It's just like, this is wacky. What is this?
That's so interesting.
What is
Dude,
this?
yeah, Warren Zevon, I'm like, I don't know. You guys got to give me a good starting point. I even bought his like greatest hits,
Yeah.
and I was like, what am I listening to? I mean,
Yeah.
Werewolves in London is sick,
Yeah.
but it is wacky.
I think that Excitable Boy record that has Werewolves of London on it is like a good entry point, because all of the Eagles, all the members of the Eagles play on that record.
Oh wow,
Jackson Brown's band too. Like it's just like all the soft rock dudes from the 70s just playing on one record.
Huh.
And the song "Excitable Boy" is like this like cool, jumpy, like Bruce Springsteen-ish doo-woppy thing, but it's about a serial killer.
Cool.
And it's like, this is wacky. All right, wasn't expecting. I like things that I'm not expecting. You know, I've heard a lot of songs. You get to be 1,000 years old like me, and you've heard a lot of crap. And then like, all right, well, I wasn't expecting a song about a serial killer.
Sure, yeah.
To be so happy and cheerful.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Excitable Boy, or at least the back cover of it.
The back cover. Okay, yeah. As far as other,
you said the other one.
Yeah. We're done.
What was it called?
The Faces.
The Faces album. Yeah.
I think the record is a nod as good as a wink to a blind horse. What a great album.
That's kind of sick. Yeah, I like that.
3 Desert Island albums. Big Thief's what's the name of it?
Dragon in Warm Mountain, I Believe in You.
That one's badass. What's the one with Shark Smile on it? Shoot.
I'll be honest, I really only know the one I said.
Hold on. I got to fact check myself.
We can check.
We have these
little computers.
I've got a little computer here that does all my remembering.
It's very useful.
I think it's called Gosh darn it.
Dude, Big Thief rules.
So many. They have so many records. Capacity, the one from 2017.
What's the cover?
It's with the overall lady in overalls, short hair, holding baby. That record is like introduced me to Buck Meek and Adrian Linker and how good they could write these like songs that felt like timeless. Like that's number one. That's up there for me. I wouldn't say it's number one, but like as far as like songwriting, you can do all of the things we just talked about in one band. Yeah. How do they do it? I don't know.
They are fantastic. That last album they put out was just incredible to me. Did you like the Adrian Linker album?
Oh, so much. Dude, Free Treasure.
Fantastic.
It might be one of my favorite songs I've ever heard.
Dude, it's so good. Free Treasure. What was one of the the second song on the album?
Oh God, I can't even listen to that one. It makes me cry every time.
The second one? The first one makes me cry.
Oh yeah, first one's like,
New House or something.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
It's been a while since I've heard it, but there were some songs on there that were just fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's like Sadness is a Gift.
Sadness is a Gift was awesome.
The Vampire Empire version where it's not like a rock band.
Yeah.
Previous record. Yeah, I was like, wow, I get the song in a whole different way.
So crazy to do that too. Yeah, to cover her song from another band, her own band. But I wonder which one came first. You know?
Yeah, or it's just like, this is 2 different ways to experience this song. You know, this is 2025.
Yeah,
it's the multiverse.
Truly. Yeah. So we got Capacity by Big Thief.
Capacity by Big Thief. I'm gonna go with Blood on the Tracks by old Bobby D.
Okay.
Actually, no, I take that back. Not Blood on the Tracks. Street Legal. That's like the weirdest post-Christian era of Bob. It starts off with a long, weird song about like who knows what called Changing of the Guards. Okay. It's like this mystical 8-minute Bruce Springsteen sounding thing. I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
Okay.
I could listen to that record over and over. It's got all the things. And then like number 3 would have to be, this is going to sound corny, but Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel.
Sick. Yeah. Classic.
Does all the things. Like it's got some Paul Simon's best songwriting and some wacky stuff, like almost Paul McCartney sounding stuff without getting too corny. And then he gets very self-serious Paul Simon. Like it balances out that kind of whimsy. And I like that. I could listen to that one forever.
Does that one have Sound of Silence?
No, that's I think the Wednesday Morning 3.
Okay.
It's a little, like a couple albums.
I'm not too familiar with like their albums, their full albums.
No one really is because everyone's mom had the greatest hits of Simon and Garfunkel on CD. And,
Cecilia.
Dude, banger.
Love that song.
That's on Bridge Over Troubled Water. That's a.
Oh, it is?
Oh, yeah. Then there's a couple of songs like about like being in Vietnam for some reason. There's like Why Don't You Write Me, which sounds like a Paul McCartney song. It's got the deep cuts are good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have a guitar student who I teach who wanted to learn Scarborough Fair.
That's tough.
Which is like, that's cool as hell, dude.
Yeah.
And he learned it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard. That's a hard song to play.
Well, the picking pattern's like
Very weird.
wacky.
It's like, I think it's 3/4 or 6/8 or whatever, but it's like just, it has these weird pauses too, and it feels like medieval.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a medieval song, like a
Yeah.
canticle. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the old folkies, you got to give it to them. They were mining the depths of
It's kind of crazy to think about.
any kind of old music. They
It's
were
weird to
so
think
cool.
that was like a big band, This huge band duo was making, Camelot songs.
Yeah. You're going to go to the Ren Fair? And
Right, yeah, literally. All right, let's check out question number 5.
Question number 5, the
Wrap
final
it
one.
up.
It's the final countdown. Okay, here we go. This is a good one. Perfect album front to back. Ooh.
Tough one to end it.
That's a tough one.
No
Oh,
skips.
No skippers.
Can't
Oh,
skip.
Dang. Not to plug. Okay, so this is not my answer, but not to plug my buddy T. Hardy Morris's upcoming album, but there ain't no skippers on that.
Yeah.
It ain't out yet. It's probably not gonna be out for like 6 months. But
Okay.
be on the lookout. Bolo,
All right.
a bolo.
A bolo.
You put a bolo out for a new T. Hardy Morris album because it ain't got no skippers. Perfect album front to back. I'm gonna go. Oh man. I'm just gonna go full white dude and be like Bruce Springsteen's. But which one? There's three. There's three that are perfect.
I'm assuming Born to Run is in there.
Born to Run's okay. So that one's clearly, but okay. Nebraska.
Sure.
Crazy
album.
It just like sounds like a dude on guitar. Every song is
Sounds haunted.
Every song kind of sounds kind of similar. It's got the similar vibe
Yeah.
to each other. But the stories in those songs are like, that's exactly what Bruce Springsteen was writing about his entire life. Like father-son dynamics, like the edge of human experience and like desire. Like he's got that song about some killers, and like the title track where he's like with a sawed-off 410, and it's just like, oh wow, this is like
There's just a meanness in this world.
Yeah, and it's the fringes of humanity that he's writing about for that whole record, and mostly for his whole career. But that's like one of those records that you put on at like 3 a.m. when you're driving, and then that song is a State Trooper, where he does the
State Trooper is awesome.
he does that, and you think it's like super quiet. It's super quiet until then you're driving in the dark, and then that haunting falsetto wail just comes on. And you're like,
He's right behind me, isn't he?
oh God, I'm haunted by something.
Yeah, I love that song, dude. State Trooper is awesome.
I feel like the albums that are the best front to back aren't usually the ones that you want to put on as frequently.
Sure.
Maybe. I don't put on Nebraska frequently, but when I do, it's like, oh wow, this is the whole thing is just fresh.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite album is, maybe cliche as it is probably In Rainbows by Radiohead.
Oh, dude, that's not cliche. That album slaps.
It does slap. It's just same thing though. Like I don't put it on a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because usually when I do, I want to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's just weird to think about playing one song from it. I mean,
yeah.
sometimes I do, but like it's pretty rare. I just want to listen to the whole thing front to back, and that is kind of the only downside to a perfect album for me is if I love every song, I want to listen to it in order from start to finish, and it's just rare that I have that opportunity to, I guess.
We just live very busy lives, Parker.
Yeah, I'm just so busy, man. I'm wheeling and dealing. You
Wheeling
and I, we're out there.
You want to buy a used car? Come on down.
Come on.
On that note, car lot.
That's right. We're selling all the cars.
Used cars, used songs. We don't know.
Used anything.
If it's used, we will sell it.
We got it. All right, Tyler. Tyler Key, let's wrap this puppy up. Thank you for coming on the pod. Everybody needs to check out Oconee River, your newest single out now. And you got any shows you want to plug up front?
Yeah. Well, I've got an album coming out in May.
Cool.
And I should be announcing the album release shows a couple weeks from now. We'll find out.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
We'll be on the lookout.
You know.
New Tyler album in May. Thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. You're the man, Parker.
On that note, with Parker Whirling.